Hello world. Okay, so as I was working on editing the video and writing my parts, I ended up doing a bunch of research again and have to push it back. So here's one more short video for now, and that's on how computers have been the same machines for a very long time. A very long time when you look at how they actually work. Listen, they're all the same. It's a CPU, and you got RAM, you got some storage that you can pull stuff out of, goes into the RAM and then save from the RAM back to storage. You got input devices like keyboards and mice and gamepads. You got output devices like screens and speakers and printers. That's it. That's what a computer has been. That's your phone. That's your iPod. That's your desktop computer. That's your Tesla car. That's everything. When people talk about technology changing all the time, technology is always changing. That's the superficial appearances, marketing baloney. So, the last video was about how you're a cyborg and how you work technology into your life. Well, when you work technology into your life at this superficial software application form factor level, then yeah, it's changing all the time. They're always coming out with a new phone every 6 months. But if you work and use a computer at the fundamental level of what it is, the universally programmable device, computers are like perfect shape-shifting machines, will do anything that you program them to do. Once you have the hardware, once you have the brick, you can change it. And I mean, pop culture tends to like look at that as some sort of subversive hacking activity or something that's really nerdy or fringe, right? It's like, take the device, but only use it for what we programmed it for you to do. Otherwise, that's some sort of like weird fringe thing, right? But no, I've been using computers as they actually are, as something that I decide what it's going to do for me de facto, right? I didn't want to join social media. I didn't agree to the freaking terms of contract, right? It feels like there's so many people who've been squeezed out of are being squeezed out of our communication networks simply because they look at Facebook and they look at Twitter and they knew a long time ago that it was garbage. I'm one of them, right? Like, I don't know what's going on around me because I don't follow the Facebook group of, because I don't want to use Facebook, for instance. Like, that has been for the longest time my approach. And it ends up being antisocial, right? Like, listen, if I understand the technology and I don't want it and I don't want to agree to it, then like, screw you, society, for trying to force it down everyone's throats as a necessity to remain engaged in communal living. This sort of stuff is coming between us. I don't want people to look at phones as like thin, super thin gateways between them and their friends. I want you to see it for the big, large gulf that it is. All the stuff that comes between people that people ignore, like the invasive privacy implications and whatnot. So here's how I use my phone. I do have an Android phone. I barely use anything from the Play Store. Most of my apps are free. I use a different app store than most people. It's called F-Droid. It's full of free open source programs that are made by just average people like you and me, right? There's a whole world of software out there for your universal computing device, right? Like GNU Linux and whatnot, right? That nobody talks about. And I mean, I just kind of dwelt in this counterculture free software world for so long that I'm like used to it, and I'm like, I should articulate this stuff to people, because computers are just one thing, and they have been for a long time. Computers have just been the same stupid CPU and RAM and hard drive and input and output devices for decades, and yet they get a little bit faster each year, and you find a new thing to plug into it each year, and a new piece of software gets written that becomes handy, and it takes over some other part of your life, and it's just been this slow boiling pot for so long. Anyway, sorry for the rant there, but this is one way in which everyone looks at technology wildly differently. They do. And so let's try to pull it together, okay? Okay? Anyway, this is probably going to be one of I'm going to kick it up a notch soon, but thanks for listening. Take care. See ya.